What is up, guys? Eric here from Real Film Reviews, bringing you a special video today of my top 10 favorite films of 2015. At this point, I have seen every movie nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, and I feel like I have caught up with all of the films from 2015 that were necessary for me to make this list. I realize it's coming out a little later, being as it's already February, so I probably should have had this out in January, but the Oscars haven't happened yet, which is kind of a cutoff date, so I feel like I'm still in the parameters to make this video. Now, before we get into my top 10, I'd like to throw out some movies that were honorable mentions for me that didn't quite make my list. Jurassic World really filled me with a bunch of nostalgia, and I had a ton of fun with that movie, and I think it was the perfect summer movie. Everest, I think, is a really underrated movie that came out this year that I feel like has gotten forgotten about, even though it was a really good man versus environment film. And the last honorable mention I'd like to throw out there is Brooklyn. It was a very heartwarming story that I actually really enjoyed, but didn't quite cut my list. Alright guys, before I get into my top 10, I do want to say that these movies aren't necessarily going to go in order of what got the best grade. This is my personal take on the films, how much I personally enjoyed them, not necessarily their technical capabilities or anything like that. So some movies that got a higher grade might be lower than another. It just depends how the list fell together for what my personal favorite films of the year were, so let's get into it. At number 10 we have The Revenant. This movie was a beautiful cinematic film to watch, which is why it's 10. Because besides it being so cinematic and having some really good performances from, I feel, honestly the entire cast, I don't really feel like this movie has much else holding it. I don't think I'll ever rewatch The Revenant, but it was a very fun time in theaters, and I thoroughly enjoyed the film, and I feel like the beauty of the camera work and the cinematography and everything alone makes it on this list for me personally, but it doesn't make it anywhere near the top. At number 9 we have Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now, this movie was absolutely amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I feel like it really revamped the Star Wars series and got me extremely excited to see where it's going to go in the future. And honestly, this movie was probably the most fun I had in a movie theater all year, having all those Star Wars fans around you. When the movie starts and everybody cheers, it was just a great time and a great movie watching experience. At number 8, I have The Big Short. Now, this movie is one where I didn't really know where it was going to land on my list. I really enjoyed this movie, and honestly, the thing that pushed it up above the other two was the cast. I really feel like Steve Carell and Christian Bale and Ryan Gosling and Brad Pitt and everyone involved in this film did an absolutely amazing job in this movie. I also feel like this is the first time we've really gotten a good look at what Adam McKay can do behind a camera. The guy is actually really smart, and I think that's why he makes probably the best comedies we get nowadays in Hollywood. And I think that this movie showed that he can also do a more dramatic feeling film, and also film it in a very interesting way, giving it a very documentary vibe, but at the same time giving it that dramatic weight that it needs to where you still care about the story. And also, this is a movie that I feel like the US just needed, because it actually helped explain what happened in 2008 when the economy crashed, and I think that that's a lot of us didn't really understand what happened, and this movie really helped explain it in an easy way, so now everyone knows what happened and how it went down. At number 7, I have Creed, which is the Michael B. Jordan, Sylvester Stallone, Rocky revamp of a movie that isn't about Rocky so much as he's a supporting character training Apollo Creed's son, and honestly this movie's just a really solid film and a really solid addition to the Rocky series. Ryan Coogler directed this movie perfectly, Sylvester Stallone gives one of the best performances of his career, and this movie I really think solidifies Michael B. Jordan as one of the best young talents that we have in Hollywood right now. At number 6, I have Mad Max Fury Road, which was an absolutely beautiful movie to watch in theaters. It is a symphony of destruction, and I absolutely loved every minute of this movie. It is so action-packed, it is filmed so well, and I really hope George Miller takes home that Oscar for Best Directing this year. Although Iñárritu did a great job with Revenant, I feel like this movie really took a camera and put it to the max with what you can do with an action film. Now this is where the list started to get hard. At number 5, I have Straight Outta Compton. I really enjoyed Straight Outta Compton. I feel like it is one of the best music biopics I've ever seen. I think everyone in this movie does a great job. I especially love the role of Jason Mitchell as Eazy-E, because I feel like he really knocked it out of the park with that, and I think he's the biggest overlooked person for an Oscar this year. I really think he should have gotten that supporting Oscar nomination. But overall, this movie just really encapsulated the gangster rap that was NWA, and I think that it really put it into film and made it so all the fans could have something that they love to watch. At number 4, I have Room, which was actually a movie I just recently caught up with and really enjoyed. I do feel like Brie Larson gave an absolutely amazing performance in this film, and I feel like the child actor who played her son gave the best performance I've ever seen from a kid in a movie, and honestly, I feel like Abrahamson is a solid Best Director nominee because he had to work with such a small space to make this beautiful and extremely heartwarming film. At number 3, I have Spotlight, which I really feel like goes without saying that it's going to be at the top of my list. It was an amazing film that has basically nothing wrong with it except for very small things. The cast is amazing, the direction is amazing, the script is amazing, everything about this whole movie is amazing, and I really hope it takes home Best Picture this year. Now, my top 2 films of 2015. Can you guess what they might be? At number 2, I have The Hateful Eight. It was an extremely fun film, Quentin Tarantino making another great movie to add to his other amazing films, and to everyone that thinks that he's maybe lost his touch or is just revamping old ideas, I kind of think that you're completely wrong, because I feel like this movie really showed that Tarantino is still in his prime and is still making amazing films to this day. And at number 1 for 2015, I have the poster right there. There's a poster right here that I'm inserting. I also bought the movie when it came out. It is Sicario, the most recent film by director Denis Villeneuve, with an amazing, amazing performance by Benicio del Toro. Emily Blunt is phenomenal, Josh Brolin is phenomenal. Everything about this movie is absolutely perfect in my mind. I've watched it 4 times now and still cannot find something wrong with it. Well guys, those are my picks for the best movies of 2015. I would love to know what your guys' favorite movie of the year was, so leave a comment down below of what you thought was the best movie made in 2015. I'm very happy that I finally got this video out for you guys. If you want my predictions for the Oscars, I can make a video. Just leave a comment down below saying that you'd like that. And as always guys, I'm Eric. If you enjoyed this video, please do like, subscribe, and share everything we do here on Real Film Reviews, and I hope to see you guys later.